Hey, what's up, everybody? Shaun T here. Welcome to Trust and Believe. Today, I wanted to come to you and just have a conversation about maybe what's going on in your life and some of the things that I've learned along the way in terms of this pandemic. So it's been really, really crazy. Not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a struggle, more of a struggle than I thought it was gonna be for me specifically. And what I mean by that is just the way that I feel. Now, I'm someone who you all probably know I travel around. I love to give motivational talks. I love to do live workouts. I love to meet the Fit Fam, all of you out there. And I'm very much appreciative of everything that you have all done in terms of staying committed to helping me stay committed to be a motivational tool for you. I think also what's really important is for us to be able to somehow find freedom in the way that we're feeling. Because when we don't find freedom in the way that we're feeling, then a lot of times what happens is we become stagnant in other parts of our lives. And that is not something that's going to make us progress forward. I'm here to tell you that your emotions are valid. You are not weak. And even if for some reason you do feel weak, it's warranted. It is okay, because we're all going through a completely different time that we couldn't plan for. And even for me, in the beginning of this process, it was really, I would say, amazing, if you will. And that sounds really crazy. It was amazing for me to be able to spend time home, this, that, and the other. And now, while I absolutely love doing that, I realize that I'm expending more energy trying to create positive energy in a space where I was starting to feel, actually not starting to feel, what I really took a deep dive into not really being able to express my emotions and know where they came from, because I'm now trapped in a box. And so just kind of sit back, relax, grab a journal, if you will. My journal's not here. And just sit back, relax, and get ready to just write some things down to help you hopefully get through this pandemic in a better way than you have been before.
Somebody say hell yeah!
What's up?
He's better than Oprah.
Come on, y'all.
This is Shaun T, and it's time to trust and believe. All right, so we're back, and I am actually really excited to share with you that I had pretty much a major breakdown yesterday. I just had all of these emotions and feelings, and I had no idea where they were coming from. But I was carrying on. I was carrying on throughout the day, throughout the weeks, just doing what I needed to do day in and day out. And just not really taking a moment to really reflect on what I was feeling. It was like a feeling would come in and then I would push it away, and a feeling would come in and I would push it away. Now, sometimes when you're meditating, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to let these feelings kind of drift around. But in terms of what we're going through now and what I was going through, I did a really bad job of not sitting down, stopping, and saying, hey, this is how I feel. And this is how I feel. And it wasn't just one feeling. I was having feelings of stress in my marriage. I was having feelings of stress with my kids. I was having feelings of stress in my job. I was having feelings of stress in my fitness. I was just having feelings of stress when it came to sleep. And I didn't necessarily take the time to stop and assess all of these different things. I just wanted to be like, oh, it's fine. 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 That's the only thing I kept saying to myself. And it's kind of like, you take your time to work out, right? Like if you say, I want to get a stronger core, you can't just think about getting a stronger core and a stronger core happening. You have to think about getting a stronger core, and then you actually have to do the workouts to get a stronger core, right? it's the same thing that I realized when it came to my thoughts in terms of this pandemic. I was like, this is how I'm feeling, but I'm going to push it away. Instead of, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm going to exercise this feeling. I'm going to literally take a moment to say, this is how I feel. Why do I feel this way? And how do I communicate with this feeling? So that's the first thing, I want to ask you as I'm talking, and I want you to write down. Write down like all of the feelings that you may be feeling at this moment, and I really want to go to the feelings that are not that great. A lot of times I like to focus on the good and the bad, but for now, I really want to focus on the negative feelings, or the feelings that's heavy weight to you, because it's those feelings that are heavy weight to you that bring your spirits down, that adds baggage, that doesn't give you the freedom to do other things in your life. So write some of those things down as I talk. So one of the things that I was really struggling with is just kind of in my marriage. Scott is very much a person that is at the computer or on the phone, or he's like a computer and a phone and like talking to people in terms of how he works. But he also loves to do laundry. He loves to clean the kitchen every day, all day. Where the only thing I like to necessarily clean every single day is my kids' toys, and other stuff I can go like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm like, okay, the laundry's here, boom. So the pressure of him cleaning and cleaning and cleaning was actually putting pressure on me, to the point where, he was like, I'm doing all this so you have a great space to live. And it actually got to me, because I was like, I actually don't need you to do that for me to feel like I have a great space to live. I like to be recognized for what I'm doing outside of the house to help with, just our lifestyle. So it was just like, and I was starting to feel really bad, like to the point where I really had an emotional breakdown, because of just the miscommunication of me not saying, hey, I really need to feel appreciated because I'm really overwhelmed. And truth be told, in my business, I'm a box. If I break my leg or pull a calf muscle or pull a shoulder or something happens, like I am the product. And so when you are the product of your business, or, a lot of people out there, if you're motivating people, or if you are leading the workout or certain kind of things, or if it's your voice and you have a lot of heavy stress in your head, when you go to perform, you are pushing into basically, I say don't run on empty. I mean, you're running on fumes, because you have all of these things that are in your head and you're constantly giving out. And so anyway, I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense, but we had to have a conversation where I actually don't need the house cleaned every single day. I can help you do that. That can be a team effort. What I need is to be recognized for my hard work that doesn't happen necessarily in front of a computer, right? And so, and on the flip side, I had to be able to communicate on how I appreciate the things that he's doing and what's happening and how we are managing the kids. So it's like, while I was also saying to myself, I need to feel appreciated for this, because if I'm not going to be appreciated for all the energy I'm putting out just because I'm not writing a document or creating something at a computer, what's the point? I was just like, what's the point in doing this? Because I personally don't need a clean house every single day. I need to come home and know that I'm appreciated for what I do. And that actually gives me energy, to like positive energy. And on the flip side, I also have to recognize his points. And what he is doing is everything in his power to create positive energy and air in a space, and really in our house, positive energy and positive air in our house. And so at the end of the day, it just comes down to being able to express that. So that was one of my feelings that I just didn't know how to express. The other thing is I was feeling overwhelmed. So then it exacerbated into a friend of mine and I doing something together where I had to send her a message and say, I just can't do this because I don't have the emotional bandwidth or real estate to actually go out and perform this. So anyway, I share a little something with you because I want you to think about, number one, what is bothering you? Number two, are you spending time to really process it? And number three, who do you have to talk to in order to get that out, right? So you can do that with multiple different things that are stressing you out in your life. And I promise it's like working out. It's literally working out your problems. You work out your body to get better muscles. You have to do the same thing in terms of what's stressing you out in your mind so that you can work it out to get through. And that takes me to the second part, which is taking action on that. My action was to say, while it may be fearful or may cause an argument, I have to, number one, act in my head and really think about what it is that I want and need. And number two, I have to be brave enough, if you will, to go to my spouse and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And so when I communicate that way, then we can then take action. The other thing is you kind of have to, hopefully, especially in these times of quarantine, you have to be in a situation where you really need to be able to be open or open-minded on either end of the spectrum that you're on, whether you're the person that needs to address an issue with someone else or you're a person that's being addressed, because the only way to push forward is to know. And if you don't know, you can't grow. And if you don't grow, then you stay stagnant, which is where a lot of people are in this moment. So once you're able to, take action on those things, or acting out, if you will, let's talk about what are the solutions for these issues. So our solutions was me saying, hey, I will load the dishwasher. I'll do these. I mean, I kind of do that every day anyway, but I'll do more of the home chores. So it's more of like a marriage, if you will, kind of thing. And, Scott was just like, okay, like I really need to actually recognize and verbalize my appreciation for what you do. Because the thing was, if you come home and it's just like you just poured out your entire soul. If we didn't work together, it's one thing, right? But I mean, I guess it's still kind of the same thing if either person is working really hard and you just want to be appreciated for the hard work that you do. So the next thing was, number one, being expressive, authentically expressive, and not being afraid to conversate and say, hey, I'm feeling this way a little bit sooner, so that so that the feeling doesn't become a compound feeling and then energy just becomes negative. And we're both really good. I'm really good at trying to keep the positive energy, but at some points, I'm human. And so I'm like, fuck, I'm like super stressed. I'm giving my energy. I'm giving a lot and I'm getting nothing that I need on the return. Right. And that's why I really like, people talk about love languages. It's one thing to do something that you think someone likes, but it's another, and you can appreciate that obviously, but it's another thing to know how to communicate to that person so that they actually feel your appreciation for them. So like we had to come up with some solutions. So what are some solutions that you can do to attack these feelings after you act on them and you talk to the person? Maybe you and your spouse, or if you're at home alone, what are some solutions? What are some of those step-by-step things that you can do to actually make it better? And then developing and delivering, right? So, once you know some of the solutions, you have to continue to develop that. A lot of times if people say, oh, we're not having sex enough, or we're not communicating enough, or something, they're like, okay, this is what we need to do. And it's fine for a week or 2 weeks, but they forget that they still need to develop it and make it even better, right? So not only am I going to stop with helping out with stuff at home, and Scott's gonna, as authentically and genuinely as he can, recognize, the stress level that I have, right, and appreciation for what I have. But the next thing is, how do you take that to the next level? And so it's to do it to, maybe you have a weekly discussion with your spouse, or if you are someone that's alone, you just have a weekly check-in, or find an accountability partner, just so that it continues to develop. Because if you do one thing one time and then you're like, oh, okay, it's like, if I'm going to work out for 1 week, I lose 3 pounds, right? Let's say 2 pounds, because you shouldn't be losing more than 2.2 pounds a week. You lose 2 pounds in that week, then boom. Oh, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm great. And then you stop, but you're not continuing to develop your body. So you have to do that same thing with relationships. And then what are the deliverables, right? And that's what I'm kind of saying the same thing, but you have to constantly deliver, constantly deliver. It's just like, if I'm ordering out food every day and that's my only source of fuel, if I stop delivering that communication, or if I stop delivering that food to myself, then I'm going to become famished. I'm going to get hangry. I'm going to starve. And then I'll be sick because I'm not eating, right? I'm not putting the nutrients in my body. So all of these feelings that you have, you have to continue to deliver. You have to continue to be constantly pushing things, positive things into that feeling, so that you can continue to develop that feeling. And the more you deliver positive energy to negative things, the more number one, you'll learn about yourself. You'll learn where those feelings are coming from. And then you'll have less triggers, and even though maybe the triggers might be there, you'll have less of a negative reaction to those triggers. So anyway, I know that was a really quick talk. Hopefully you understood it, but I think that your feelings should be validated first by you, and then being able to reach out to people to help you understand that, what we're going through in these times is really, really, really real, and that you shouldn't neglect yourself or neglect your feelings to just try and get by. You should be able to still thrive in these times, even when you're going through the tough times. So anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys. I hope you continue to trust and believe in who you are. And please keep on coming back for more, because I'm going to keep on giving you what's going on in here, so that you can understand that you are not alone and that we can do this together. My name is Shaun T. Peace out.